Hi, fans like Matt Curl, Purse MMA. Today, got a returning guest to the platform. Joins me once again, which means one thing. He's got a fight coming up. It's been a while, but June 6th, he's taking on John Yannis, UFC Fight Night. He is the maniac. He is Mr. Marcus McGhee. He's back. Brother, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm glad to be back. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. So kind of a switcheroo kind of recently. You were originally going to fight Jacob Wixlax. Now you're fighting John Yannis. How did you find out about the switch? Did that kind of catch you off guard a little bit?
Not really. I didn't care, dude. I didn't really care who it was. I just wanted to make sure I was still on the card. I was surprised that I had got Jacob in the first place. Like, coming from who I just fought to where and being off for as long as I've been off. Like the whole thing's been crazy to me. So for me, I was just like, I don't care. I need to fight. Give me a person. I respect everybody. Everybody's tough, but I'm that guy. Let's go.
Absolutely. You alluded to your last fight. Obviously, Piotr Yan, anytime you lose a fight, it's not the greatest feeling in the world. But in my opinion, man, you got nothing but positivity out of there. A lot of people think it was going 1-1 going in that third round. Some people thought you did enough to get the job done. Looking back at it, what did you make of the experience?
Yeah, same thing. I give it all the way to him. Nevertheless, I think it was a pretty competitive fight the first two rounds, and then the third round, I fell asleep in the first three minutes of that round. He held me against the cage, and he beat me with just off that period. So I got to give it to him. It is kind of crazy that fight fans would like that. How things change though, because everyone gives Mario a big time. They hated Mario for so long about that. About holding Jose against the cage, and especially the third round, and then Peter does it to me, and it's like, oh man, that's fight IQ. That's experience. So it is kind of funny, but nevertheless, like it was a great experience. I learned a lot about myself, my character, a lot about my abilities as well. So it was great. Now it's been like, man, I've been trying to get out of the shadow of that fight. Man, you did better than Marab, or you did better than. They've been saying it. I'm like, bro, I could care less about that. I'd like to fight, and I would like to fight. So let's find out how good I am against the next guy.
Absolutely. Obviously, that was such a big event for you, finding one of the best to ever do in that division, now champion. But for you that week, being able to be co-main event, were you able to kind of reflect and look back at the journey at all?
Yeah, that was one thing that was awesome about it because the last time that I was in Abu Dhabi, I wasn't even in the UFC. I was 1-0 as a pro, and I was there for Kyler's fight on Fight Island. And yeah, it's just kind of crazy the whole full round circle. Now I'm here. The team's here for me. My wife's with me. We're across the world. We're fighting one of the best guys to ever do it. Former champion, now the champion. And it was just kind of surreal, but it was like, it was right where I was supposed to be. My feet were right where they were supposed to be. I just remember feeling so good the whole week, everything spiritually, physically, mentally, everything went so good. And honestly, the loss, I accepted the loss as good too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get so caught up in these things. And for me, it was all good. It was all a great experience.
You mentioned some of your training partners already, but you train over the MMA lab where you're dealing with some of the best, especially at 135. You got Mario Bautista over there, Kyler Phillips over there, Jackson McVeigh now becoming a big name. Obviously yourself, Rob Emerson, a bunch of killers. What's it like being with those guys every day?
Yeah, I can just say iron sharpening iron. It's awesome that there's no rounds off. There's nothing light. No one's light. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone knows how to work as well. So it's like we work together very well, very efficiently. But it's always hard, good, grinding work, and the level of the guys that you're training with. So, oh man, I love it. I would never go anywhere else. I've been there for almost 9 years now, and love Mario, love Kyler, love so many other guys, Abdul Kamara, Jackson, Chance Ikey, the list goes on. Ezra Elliott. There's so many guys that are just killers over there. Vinny Diaz, and that's just in our weight class, and guys in at 45. So absolutely love those guys, and they're my brothers.
You mentioned one guy in there that you're really cool with. Obviously, Abdul Kamara. First time I
Mhm.
ever met you was at Icon when he
Yeah.
fought a few years ago.
Yeah.
Dana White Katara series coming around. Kind of make a no-brainer. Maybe see him in it this year.
Absolutely. I think he's going to be on there. Obviously, they've been trying to go around him. It's crazy. The politics in this game is crazy, man. You know, if I could say I dislike anything in the whole game of the MMA world, is all the politics and how guys are get treated, because he's a two-time Fury champion. Regardless of how whether he finishes guys or not, he's a two-time Fury champion right now. And now he's going to have to go fight a third time in Fury so that he can possibly get a chance. They're like, "Oh, he didn't finish anybody." Dude, what are we talking about? He's a two-time Fury champion. He deserves a shot at least a contender series. So I think he's going to go out here. I think they're going to be announcing a fight here soon. He's going to fight in July. I think he's going to go out there. He's going to get himself a finish, and he's going to find himself on the contender series, and he's going to break his way into the UFC.
You know, what's really cool about you, man. You've been at this crazy journey for such a long time, man. You've been in this game for well over 10 years now. Obviously, from now to 2012, MMA is a lot different. I mean, you're not seeing it as much back then. Back then, it wasn't illegal everywhere like it is now. Now, I mean, it's as big as anything in the US. How do you think the game has changed from when you first start getting into it?
I think the game's changed because, you know, they put a lot of value on your social presence, right? So I think that's how the game's changed. You can be an all right fighter and have a great social media, and they're going to push you like you're the greatest thing in the world, right? Or you can be the most fantastic fighter, most dedicated to the game, best person, great person, and not have good socials. And they're like, we can't even mess with that guy. So I think the politics has become a bigger, uh, I shouldn't even say problem. It's just become a part of the game. You know, I think that these young fighters need to know that, you know, the platforms that they're building before they get into the UFC are going to matter, or into any of these organizations are going to matter so much more as we keep getting into this Netflix and Paramount world, you know? So I think that's the biggest thing I've seen change. And then the level, obviously, like you have to be so good at to be able to compete now. You know, you have to be so good. And that's why it trips me out that, you know, you have, you know, our boss going on there talking about this isn't a career, this is an opportunity. These guys have to work so hard to get to this opportunity. Guys work their whole life to have an opportunity to fight in the biggest organization, and most of them only get a year of that. Like, man, that's kind of crazy you know, short take what these guys work for. Yet this is their guys. Their job is to promote these guys. So it is kind of crazy. I think that that's what's kind of changed. Before, the UFC really put more value into their fighters as far as like pushing their fighters, because that's what got them the views and the likes. And now you see they don't have to do that. They don't have to. They're like, hey, you better be pushing yourself and using Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You better be doing all those things, and then go out there and also compete and knock people out and be flashy. And then we're going to use that momentum and we're going to ride with you. But if you don't do all those things, well, you're just another fighter.
You know, you've found the UFC plenty of times now, but this is going to be your first time in the Paramount era. Obviously, different things now from the last time you found it. Paramount Plus, just have the subscription, can watch all the fights, the bonuses. You're looking at $100,000 bonuses now. What do you make of this era that we're in?
Man, I think that's a beautiful thing. You know, the fact that guys can go out there. I mean, that's just financially changing lives, right? Like people can start utilizing real funds like that to really set up themselves up for success. You know, it's so crazy because people will be like, hit me up. Oh man, you're in the UFC, you make money like this. We are not the same as other sports. You know, it's so crazy. They're like, you made it, you made it. It's like, nah, dog, that's not how it works. You know, like even though I fought Peter Yan, I didn't make it. I need to work. You know, I need to go out here and get another one of these. So it's nice to see that. Still a hard thing to get, right? Like you still got to go out there, perform. But it is amazing to have the opportunity for that. Even just the finish bonuses, right? Get out there, you get a finish, no matter what, you get a bonus. I mean, that's just amazing. At 25,000 extra dollars on top of your purse is a great opportunity to utilize that for, again, putting, like, if you didn't even plan on having that extra 25, you could really take that 25, throw that 25 into something that's going to make you some residual income in the future, and really start setting yourself up for after fighting.
You know, obviously, you train with a bunch of different fighters at the gym, seasoned guys, young guys. You try to stress to the young guys the window to do this is so small, and maybe not putting all your eggs in one basket right now.
I absolutely stress that. I tell guys all the time, hey man, you guys should be doing other things. Like, especially coming up how I came up, I understand, like I got in there, but I worked 60 hours a week. I had a full-time, you know, I had multiple full-time jobs. I was I was grinding, it's a grind. But if fighting had not worked out, I had a career field that I was going to be in, I had a base and I was still providing and supporting my family. That has to come first. If you don't have those things lined up, if you don't have your provision set up for your family, for your future, if you don't have a family yet, great, then you're good. I think you should still be building something, because most of these guys are still looking for a girl. Most of these guys are still trying to, they're still looking that way. And if you're looking that way and you're looking to be the type of man that builds something, then you can't just put all your eggs into being a fighter. And again, not everyone is going to make it to the highest level. There's not that much of a highest level. You have the UFC, you have PFL, and now you have MVP, which all of those are extremely hard organizations to become a part of. And you're looking at having to do a lot of amazing things usually to get to that position. So yes, I always try to tell those guys regularly, like, hey guys, make sure that you're doing other things, make sure you're building a different type of base, and then make sure you love this, because when this doesn't work out, make sure that you're not like, oh, I wasted time, it was a waste, no, it's like, no, this was part of my story, part of my journey. Whether I made it there or did not make it there, I gave it all I had and took my shot.
How do you think you have grown and evolved as a person from being in this crazy game?
I think it's evolved me in a lot of good ways. And then also, like, I could see it evolving me and getting a little bit prideful, and I've been really, had to fight that over this last year. It's like going into the moment of pride and then pulling back from the pride and being humble, because, you get to these points and you're like, I've done this and I've done this and I've done this, and I can't believe they're treating me like that. And I should be getting this, and they're pushing this guy and that, and then you come back to yourself and you go, be humble. You know what I'm saying? Be humble, regardless of all the different things. Forget what is deserved. What do we really deserve, right? Like, go out and get it. Go out and be the person that you say you are. Go out and work like you say you work. So I think that I've evolved in a lot of great ways, and this last year has kept me humble, to say the least.
What do you want your kids to take away from this crazy journey you've been on?
I just want them to take, more than anything, I want them to realize that character and your morals and what you stand for is way more important than the accolades, than the money, than the fame, than all those things. And I want everybody else to realize that too. I want to show that this whole new social media, like, don't get me wrong, there's a place for it, but you don't have to lose your soul. You don't have to lose who you are in the midst of it. You don't have to try to go out and be somebody you're not. You don't have to do all that stuff to still be successful and to still get to where you're trying to get to. Because I feel like the society keeps telling everybody, you got to be this crazy influencer. You got to make sure that you're always on Instagram making your life look amazing. And I think it's detrimental to the youth coming up, because and that's where we start running into all these mental health issues. You have people really thinking that these other guys' lives are sweet like that, and it's not like that. There's none of these guys' lives sweet like that. You look at Demetrius Johnson, you look at TJ Dillashaw, you look at any of these guys that have came up. It has been hard, a lot of hard work, even at the highest levels. A lot of hard work, a lot of ups and downs. It is not easy. And I hate that the culture pushes that you got to be this flashy, flaunted guy and have everything in your bag. Because then what happens when things get bad? That's when people start trying to take their lives. That's when people start trying to be bad fathers, bad husbands, start going into getting addicted to drugs, because they're so broken inside. So I want to push against that, and I want my kids to see that.
In this day and age, a lot of guys referring to themselves as fighters. Very few people refer to themselves as a martial artist anymore. For you, you've called yourself a martial artist in the past. What does it mean to be a martial artist?
Honor, discipline, respect. I think we go back to the core values of what martial arts meant, right? And not like the flamboyancy and the disrespect and the being blatantly, rude and all this extra stuff. Like the things that have built a lot of these athletes, respect, character, honor, discipline, going back to the foundation of where where martial arts came from in the beginning. It wasn't all the extra accolades and all the extra things. It was like, show up every day, show that you have character, show that you're coachable and teachable, have honor, have respect, and you'll be in a good place. So that's what being a martial artist means to me.
We've talked about before the importance, the mental side of things when it comes to fighting. For you, your last few contests, you've really seen the mental side. You've really seen that you've become a very mentally sound fighter. Has that always been the case for you?
I think I have been since I went pro, but I have been very like mentally stable. But there's moments where I let that go, and I think that can still be under control as well, controlled chaos, right? There's moments or where you need to just let it go and then trust your intuition, trust your what you've already been working on. There's a time to be very meticulous and very intentional and specific, and there's a time to just let your mind and let your abilities do what they do. So I wouldn't say I've always been that way, but I do think that there's been hints and measures of that, and it comes out whenever it comes out.
We've talked about social media a few times this interview. Now, in Paramount era, there's even more casual fans than ever watching this, and every fan's a good fan. But sometimes you get on social media, you're in the crowd, you hear twist them in the you read all this crazy stuff, you see these memes, all this crazy stuff. For you, have any one-liners about yourself, any memes, have any about you, have anything stuck out and made you laugh over the years?
The obviously the Archer, all the Archer comparisons, I love it. That's probably my favorite because he was my favorite growing up, and I never realized how much we resembled each other. So I absolutely love that one. And then one that sticks out to me that has maybe even hurt a little bit is me being old, me looking old. The more they keep saying it, I'm like, dang. Yeah, I do look old with my shirt on, but then when I take my shirt off, not so much, but my face kind of, I'm like, I see that I got the forehead wrinkles, the hairline. So I'd be like, dang, you guys are roasting me, but that's kind of true, so whatever. So that's one of the bad ones that get me. And then there's another one that's like Cleon. I don't understand the Vangelis comparison. I don't think that's very accurate, but yeah, those two in particular probably are the ones that impact me the most.
Absolutely. So we're getting ready, making our return June 6th, taking on John Yannis this time around. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent?
Yeah, very tough, very durable guy. He's going to come to fight. I think he comes to fight. Throws hard, can grapple well. I'm not taking him for granted at all. He thinks that he can come out here and beat me. He's going to show up to come over and take what I have. So it's going to be up to me to show him the different levels. And show him the type of work that I put in. That I haven't done everything I did off of a whim. So. Again, give him his respect. He's showing up to the fight. He took his short notice. So I'm definitely not looking past him. I'm looking right at him.
The past few fights, we got to see you fight in front of live crowds, but we're going back to the Apex for this one. I got excited when I saw this one. You're a very pressured fighter. You give it all you got, not scared of the dogfight. We're fighting in a smaller cage. Do you think this goes in your favor?
I always have. I like fighting in small cages, because I came up fighting in small cages. I didn't come up fighting in big cages. And like you said, like I like to get into that space where we're fighting. And I always like the intimacy of it. Even before like the fans could come, for me, it was always like I used to say it long before I thought I was going to be a fighter. I used to tell people like, people don't like fighting like I like fighting. I don't need an audience. If you and me have a problem, me and you can go into this alley and let's just see who walks away. No fans, nobody hazing us on. We don't even got to talk about it after that. Me and you can just go over there and dish it out. And if you don't feel that way, you don't like fighting like me, So the Apex makes me feel that way, where it's just intimate. It's just like, it's just us getting after it. Forget the fans, forget all the accolades, forget all that stuff. Two martial artists stepping in here, mano y mano. Let's go.
We talked about the bonuses are now bigger than ever. To me, this fight really on paper screams something, whether it be a finish, fight of the night. Could you see this being a bonus worthy contest?
Absolutely. I think that both of us can fight that type of way. He's a tough guy, and he's going to come to fight. So I definitely believe that there's a bonus going to be added to this one. It just depends on where it is on the card and how guys feel about it. But the fight's going to be exciting. He's an exciting fighter. I'm an exciting fighter. He pressures forward. I pressure forward. I think it's going to be fireworks for sure.
Absolutely. Another thing, when you look at this card, sometimes you really don't know what to expect at the Apex. This is a loaded one. I mean, you got Bonfim and Muhammad is the main event here. Shabazian, Brendan Allen, Eo Barnowski's fighting on this one. Bryce Mitchell's on this one. Obviously, yourself, Jordan Levitt, Emmanuel Rodriguez. Is it pretty cool to be on a loaded card on the Apex?
It is loaded, and that's why I'm like, it's gonna be hard to get that thing. But again, I feel like that's the style, right? Like I don't have to try to go out and snatch it. It's just gonna be like, who does it better, basically. Maybe we have such a great night that they give out bonuses to all of us. That'd be dope, I'll pray for that, that everybody gets a bonus, But yeah, I'm trying to get one of them things, but I don't even think I gotta like overly try. That's how I fight. I have gotten 3 bonuses, and I don't think it's off out of 5 fights in UFC, I gotten 3 bonuses, and I didn't try to get those bonuses. They just happened. So I think that I go out there, I do my job like I can, and bonuses will come with that.
With the big win over Yannis, do you think that puts you maybe back up into fighting the upper echelon that rankings in that division?
I think so, but again, we'll see. Like, we'll control what we control. I think I should be already. I can't believe that they've already pushed me out like they pushed me out. I don't understand it. But again, my performance is going to speak louder than anything. I think so. I'll go out there and perform the way I know that I can perform, and then I'll keep controlling the things that I'll keep controlling. So they can try to deny me, but the work will speak for itself.
At this point in the career, what's the ultimate goal? What are you looking to accomplish?
Yeah, I'm looking to still get that belt, it's not like I want to get the belt to be like, to be overly brash with it, but that's a big platform to be able to use to spread exactly the word that I'm trying to spread, to show people that you could be the type of person that I am, right? You can just be authentic to who you are. You can just be authentic to just being a regular, loving father, faithful servant, loving husband, humble dude, and still get to those type of accolades and not have to again sell out or do anything all crazy extra. You can just be yourself. So I would love to get there to show other people that it is possible. And then again, you don't have to be some freak of nature who came up in the game, who had everything perfectly set up for him, and his parents were there, and his whole college accolades, and had all these things. Like, you could just be a person who just works hard. Just work hard, give it everything you got, and it's possible for you too.
It's absolutely crazy to see where you've come. I remember 3 years ago, about 3 years ago now, April, you got this kind of short notice opportunity to fight Journey Newsome. 3 years later, 3 fight of the nights, 4 wins in the UFC, co-main event against now the champion at bantamweight. If someone told you 3 years ago that the cards would unfold like this, would you believe them?
No, I was stuck in a place where I was like, I was having a hard time getting regional fights, I was like, man, honestly, the guys that were around me, they kept on saying things too, like, oh, we're probably doing this and it probably never will happen. But, and every time I said it, it would kind of hurt a little bit, but I'd be like, whatever, I'm gonna keep grinding, but that's kind of like a backhanded, like, compliment, what I'm saying? I'm like, whatever. But yeah, I would have never imagined it. God's plan is always bigger than we can imagine. You always have a plan, and His plan is better if you trust it. So I'm just trusting His plan. Trusting in everything He does. He always makes the right moves, and man, he's got it all in His hands.
You're such an inspirational person for so many. Obviously, your story is amazing. You've overcome, you've conquered so many things in your life. You've had people reach out probably every single day. You inspire me. Your story helps motivate me. I'm going through this. For you, knowing that you're making an impact, knowing that you're changing people's lives, is that more important than any fight of the night bonus, any big fight, anything MMA?
Yeah, you said it, man. That's way more important. All that money's gonna disappear, and I can't store it. I can't save that with me. You know what I'm saying? But to make an impact and to really change people's lives, and to show them that by my character and by how I've moved forward, to give them that type of inspiration, man, that's something that I never would have believed in too. And I honestly, I fought against it. I never wanted to be nobody's role model, and I always like, oh, don't follow me, don't. But it's like to be in that position to have that type of to have that type of responsibility put on you, and then to be able to carry that type of responsibility is a blessing and an honor. So I'm extremely thankful that I've been put in the position to exude those type of qualities. So it blows me away because I always ask God, like, how did you let a wretched man like me become this? Like, a man like me, this wretched soul, coming from where I came from, and here you are, you have all this responsibility on me, and you're like, go for it, son, you got this. And I'm just like, how? I wake up every morning and I'm just grateful, and I just thank him every day.
Absolutely. All right, Marcus, last question for me, my friend. In a perfect world, what is the outcome June 6th when you make your return to the UFC Apex against John Yannis?
In a perfect world, I go out there, we move around a little bit, and in beautiful, emphatic fashion, I knock him out clean and get my $100,000 on top of both checks and leave early that night with my wife and kids and enjoy Vegas for the next week.
With a $100,000 bonus, you think we're adding some more skateboards to the collection?
Oh, we are absolutely adding more skateboards to the collection. I haven't touched my board since early March because I've been thinking I was going to get a fight because I thought I was fighting April, that I thought I was fighting March or May, and I thought now I'm fighting June. So haven't touched my skateboard since March. I am itching. So I pray, I expect a fight from this guy for sure, but I pray I do go out there and knock him out or get him out of there with submission or just get him out of there. No bruises, bones, or anything. So then I can go buy me a skateboard out in Vegas and get me a couple sessions while I'm out there too before I come home.
There you go. Well, Marcus, man, thank you so much for chopping up with me. Always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. Can't wait to watch you get back into your thing, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Always glad to be on. I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. That's the press stamp. Carl Persley. He is the Maniac. He is Marcus McGhee. You can watch him June 6th, Apex taking out John Yannis. They're going for the finish, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.